Hi everybody, welcome to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Riley and I like to read. So we're going to try and challenge ourselves a little bit. My first video was actually my June TBR video and I read like nothing. I read nothing. For July, I'm going to challenge myself and see how much I can read in a week. So I actually have this 8-sided dice and that's going to kind of dictate because I'm going to see how many pages I can read in a day. And this 8-sided dice is actually going to tell me how many pages I'm going to read in a day. So of course we have our July TBR as our candidates. I'm actually going to try and hopefully do all of it. I highly doubt it. Actually, hold on. Back it up. Back it up. We're not. I can't be that optimistic. The one will be 50 pages, 2 100 pages, 3 150 pages, 4 200 pages. So it can go all the way up to 400 pages, which is low-key kind of a whole ass book. Today is Monday, so let's see what I'm reading today. I will say I am kind of busy Wednesday and Thursday, so hopefully those days I get a lower number day. We are going to go ahead and roll for today, Monday, see how many pages I'm going to read. So I'm going to try and show you without it like flipping again. We landed a 7. 350 pages. Okay, so where did my other book go? Hold on, there's another book on my July TBR. We have People Who Meet on Vacation in the Darkest Ascending, Summer in the City, Crown of Midnight, and Phantasma. I do also have another one. We also have Your Knife, My Heart. I was optimistic to start this one. I've yet to do that. So, I'm not gonna lie. I'm really just gonna go ahead and read this and finish it because I've been reading this for 8 months. The thing is, though, you can see each month that I've tried to read this is a new prompt, and wow, there's 4 prompts in this book. Holy crap, I ended right in the middle of a chapter, y'all. Okay, so we are actually going to be, I just gotta finish this. I feel like at some point I was reading it and then I was moving. So whenever I moved, obviously moving is a whole chaotic experience to begin with. And at this point, I really don't care to finish this book, but I've been at it for so long, and it's not that bad of a book. So was I at the end of a chapter? So at this point, I feel like I just need to finish it or DNF it, but I don't want to DNF it because it's not that bad of a book. So we are starting at chapter 34 of Mates by Allie Hazelwood, and that's page 368. I'm actually just literally gonna sit here and finish it. So I'll get back to y'all in just a minute. Alright, I officially finished Mate. So I believe that was like 76 pages. A lot surprisingly happened in 76 pages. Like, I'm not gonna lie, I feel like at the point that I don't think I would have benefited from either continuing or DNFing it, but it is nice to finally have the closure and I can like literally chuck this book. I'm done with it. But it was actually a great conclusion. For a while, I was kind of thinking, I know this is a duo, but I was kind of thinking, what if it's actually a trilogy? So I was kind of hoping to see something there, but I don't know. It's done. It's over with. So we actually got 274 pages to work with. You have some stuff to do. I have to go to work, and I do have the Kindle version of this, so I'm probably going to pick this one up. I don't have the Kindle version of anything else. I mean, I might actually have Summer in the City, but I'm not really in the mood for that. I've heard really good things about this, and it's already a Netflix movie. Movie. So I'm really excited to go ahead and start and finish this one. Eventually, there's these 2 best friends. They met in college, and they go on vacation every year, and I'm talking to this as like present time, but 2 years ago, apparently something happened and they had a falling out. And yeah, and she wants to go on another vacation together, which sounds like a bunch of fun. I don't know. I don't really go on vacations, so I use my vacation money to buy books. So, yeah, I guess we're gonna figure out how this goes, and yeah. All right, we're at the end of the day. I'm not gonna finish this in like the middle of the chapter. So I hit page 274, but I wanted to go ahead and finish the chapter. So now we're on page 286. So I guess I have a little bit of reserve. I'm low-key really tired. I almost finished this book. This is actually kind of crazy though. So it kind of goes back and forth between time periods. So you have this summer, and then they start from like 12 summers ago. Then it's like this summer, 11 summers ago. Da, 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 da. So it's actually adding a lot of suspense here for what happened 2 summers ago. I just finished reading 3 summers ago, so I guess tomorrow I'm going to figure out what the fuck's happening here. Yeah, I have mixed feelings on this, and I'll tell you why tomorrow when I'm finished this, because I don't know, I kind of want some of this to answer some things for me before I put any of my inputs. It is Tuesday. I'm really hoping we get a lighter day today because yesterday was already heavy and it's already the beginning of this challenge. I'm hoping for a low number. We're rolling for the day, and I hope it is a lower number because I low-key don't want to read today. But I have stuff to do tomorrow and Thursday, so we gotta, I guess, knock it all out today. 6. Hold on. 5, 6. There's 300 pages. I did this to myself. I could have literally just done like 1 means 10 pages, 2 means 20 pages. No, 6. So 300 pages. So we are picking back right where we left off on yesterday. We're gonna finish People We Meet on Vacation. Not gonna lie, now that we are finally done with this, this is my first Emily Henry book, and I do have Beach Read and Book Lovers, so I've been wanting to get to this author for a very long time. Personally, I did not enjoy this book. I did rate it as a 4-star on my Goodreads, but I'd personally rate it more of like a 3.5. It was good. I feel like all of the suspense for it to be something as petty as it was, that was their falling out from 2 years prior. I don't know, it was very middle school to me what the reasoning was. I have to see how many pages that we are at for our 300 of the day. Wow. Okay, 74 pages. I read 74 pages, and that's funny because I had 74 pages left on this one as well. That's actually kind of crazy. Let me go ahead and put that back there. So we have 226 pages to work with for the rest of the day, which is not that bad. I've direly been wanting to get to this one. I love me a good military romance, and this is like Call of Duty meets Hunger Games. Like, yes, please. Again, I love this author. I read Leave Me Behind by K.M. Moranova, and I was eating that up, okay? And I recently just got their new book as well, Bulletproof. I know this will be an easy read for me. I need to read something to make up for a rather disappointing read, to be honest. I had high hopes for it. So that was slightly disappointing, but I know that I will eat this up. So I will see you at the end of the day. Y'all, I'm not gonna lie, I'm gonna call it a night. There was so much going on. I'm on page 223, so I'm literally 1 page shy, but I don't want to read a whole other chapter. Trust me, I do, but I am so tired. I've done nothing but read for the past 2 days. Like I've not read in a very long time, so the fact that I'm pushing through and reading this much is insane. There is so much going on. The only thing is I don't like how I don't like cocky FMCs, and Emery is very much a cocky FMC, and it's like, stop. So essentially it's kind of giving like an academy type vibe because they have to go through like these under trials in order to get put into the dark forces. And I'm assuming this is the trials. I still have like this much left, so maybe this is like finishing up the trials, and the next book in this duo is like the dark forces, or maybe it continues into the trials. I have no idea. But yeah, that's gonna be a Wednesday thing because honestly, I'm done. I'm done for the day. I'm done for the day. I'm going to finish this. Trust me, I'm going to finish this. Hopefully tomorrow. I have a lot of stuff to do tomorrow, so hopefully I will get a lower number. Hi everyone, happy Wednesday. I got a lot to do, so there's not gonna be much recording time at all, and I'm very terrible at recording when reading in general, so I do apologize. At this point, you're just seeing me not even like physically read, you're just seeing me pick out the book and reporting back to what I read. Um, Maybe it'll change. I don't know. I kind of sometimes I like listen to my audiobook and read along with that, and audiobooks on my phone and I'm recording on my phone. So it's really hard to record that way. So we are going to roll for Wednesday. I'm hoping for a low number. I really have a lot to do. I highly doubt I'm going to make today's challenge just for that. I don't even want to show y'all anymore. 300 pages. Yeah. I'm not going to get it. I can tell you that much. I'm not going to get it. We can see. I'm very confident I can finish the rest of this book. Another book? Holy crap. What would I even read? I don't know. Let me finish this. I can at least finish this before I go to work. So I'm going to finish this, pour back to y'all, and we're going to pick another book. I don't know. These books too. I probably should not take this as my next book because these books are heavy. I was reading Leave Me Behind, and I was 96% done with the. I was 96% done with the book, and I'm like, it's fine. I could just listen to the last 4% audiobook on the way to work. I'd be fine. I was sobbing. I'm gonna see how this ends, and then I'll tell you what I'm doing with the rest of my day because I obviously don't know. What the fuck was this ending? Hold on, this took me a lot longer than it should have. Like, there was so many like poetry at this point, but there was so much, and the ending, the cliffhanger, the cliffhanger. I, I just want to say fuck this challenge and pick that up, but I'm not going to. I'm not going to as much as I want to. Um, I'm going to let this marinate a bit. I'm going to let this marinate, and wow, that was insane. Let me go ahead and count how many pages this was and see where we stand as far as pages go. So I just read 60 pages, which means that we have 240 to work with. Let's see. I think I'm going to dive towards a fantasy, so it's either going to be The Darkest Ascending or The Crown of Midnight, which I might be leaning more towards this just because my goal with this series was to read one book a month for this, and I read Throne of Glass in January, and now it's July. So I'm probably gonna pick this up. I don't remember the characters. I'm not even gonna lie. I don't remember the characters. So do I need to? Probably. I don't even know. I don't even remember the main character's name. Holy shit. Do I remember what happened? No. Okay, so I'm just not getting ready to leave for work. And I got a good chunk of Crown of Midnight in. I did just want to pop in with a little update. So I'm already on chapter 8, which is page 70. And I do have to say, Sarah Maas is actually pretty good about giving like a good refresher about like essentially the characters, the whole plot of everything. Um, so that's actually super duper helpful because I literally was going in knowing nothing. It's actually like a very easy read so far, so I kind of want to go and buy the rest of the books. So I only have Throne of Glass, Crown of Midnight, and Assassin's Blade. I know a lot of people are saying read Assassin's Blade either before, after Crown of Midnight, after the third one. I don't remember which one that one is called on the top of my head, but I'm gonna read it whenever, because yeah, I think I might do the tandem read, but that one's gonna be rough because I isn't that like 2 or 3 books involved in that? I don't know. Obviously, I have to do my research. I'm about to go to work, so we're gonna see how much I'm able to get read. Alright, so it is officially Thursday. Let me go ahead and update you. So I did read as much as I possibly could. I did not meet the goal, but that was honestly to be expected. Um, let's see, there she is. I read as much as I could going to work, after work. I had quite a few errands, so like I pop in the earbud, listen to the audiobook. So just to kind of recap myself, I read 60 pages of Your Knife, My Heart, and I had to read 240 pages. I'm on page 184, so I'm already on chapter 3, which is already a good chunk of the book. So I generally read a lot more than I thought. I was super busy. Honestly, if I roll a lower number, which at this point I need to stop saying because I keep on jinxing myself. But if I roll a lower number, maybe I can make up for what I did not read. So I actually only had 56 pages left to read. It's so upsetting I was not able to finish it, but I think I'm actually pretty confident I can read an extra 56 pages, but that also depends on my roll. So let's go ahead and roll for today. I do have quite a few things as well to do today, so this is going to be fun. Ready? Okay, this is like my first low-key kind of low number. 5. So I only have to read 250 pages today. So if I do make up for that, if I do make up for that 56 pages, then that will be another 300-page day. I guess we can go ahead and pick this back up. So there's a lot that's happening already. Again, this is surprisingly a very easy read, and it's makes me want to go ahead and buy the rest of the series, to be completely honest with you. So it seems like Selena and Kale, they're becoming a thing. It's actually quite endearing. Say, I feel like fantasy books are kind of like, if you talk about it even in the slightest, you kind of spoil stuff. So especially with a big series like this, a huge series like this. I don't know what team I'm on though, because I love them all. I love them all. I'm not gonna lie. I could very much see Nathemia and Roland together. Nathemia and Roland together? Am I the only one that kind of picked up on that chemistry there? I kind of pick up on that chemistry. Well, let's get back to reading. Y'all, I hate not knowing what happens before like I'm start talking, because the whole thing with Euthymia, I feel stupid now. I just finished this book. It was amazing. Holy shit. I want to dive into the next book, but I don't even have the next book, which means we needed to go book shopping. I still owe some pages, not even gonna lie. So that was 234 pages. I have to read 18 more pages. I'm in a fantasy mood after reading that, so I'm not really leaning towards Summer in the City. I'm leaning more towards The Dark is Ascending, which is the final book in the Nightfall trilogy, which, not gonna lie, it's probably good that I go ahead and start. And the first book to this, Phantasma. So how I'm going to choose this is I'm probably, honestly, really just going to read the first sentence in each book, and that's going to make me choose. A stray lightburn descended from the skies like a shooting star, a blinding arc of light and silver-feathered wings slicing through the darkened clouds above the city of Vestire. Okay, that's cool. Moonlight glinted off the gilded locket clasped around the corpse's cold neck. I'm not gonna lie, this didn't really tell me anything. Okay, just for the sake of finally finishing this goddamn trilogy, and it is gorgeous. Okay, gorgeous. I'm gonna read 18 pages of this. Alright, so conveniently enough, the second chapter ended on page 18. So I've completed today's challenge. I'm not gonna be reading the extra 56 pages. Maybe tomorrow, but I'm not gonna lie, I'm super confused. It's been over a year since I read the other two books. So I'm very lost. I barely remember the characters. The more I read, the more I kind of retain information. It's just super confusing because again, I'm going off of bits and pieces here. So I will see you tomorrow. Welcome to the 5th and final day of this challenge. We're just gonna go ahead and jump straight into this for the sake of making this a not hour-long video. Robert, this week's been rough. We've only gotten high numbers, so here we go. A 2. I only have to read 100 pages. Okay, so we will be reading 100 pages of this book. So essentially in the first book, oh my god, I genuinely can't even say what this one is about without spoiling so much. It's like a celestial romance, but it's like has to do with like reincarnation, all that stuff. It's actually pretty good. There's bonds, it has to do with the fays and the vampires, which an interesting mix. But yeah, so I guess we're gonna read 100 pages of that, which my 18 pages, of course, barely made a dent. Oh yeah, so apparently this trilogy also intertwines with a whole series. So I've been reading this out of order. Whatever. I finished, not the book, I finished the challenge. I ended up reading I had to read 118 pages. I only read to 116 pages because then it would have entered into a new chapter. And frankly, I low-key kind of need a break from reading after all this. We are about to do our total for this challenge. At the end of this challenge, the way that we kept on rolling all of those big numbers, I had to read 1,300 pages. Short, just a little bit. I ended up reading 1,253 pages throughout this challenge, which is very impressive considering I went through like a 6-month book slump. Just to go ahead and refresh, I finally finished Mates by Ali Hazelwood. I'm gonna have to give this a 3.5 stars. Again, I feel like it just kind of dragged a little bit longer than it meant to. I believe I did just rated this a 4 stars in my Goodreads. Then we read People We Meet on Vacation by Emily Henry. Again, this is one of those where I went ahead and rated it a 4-star, but I would personally rate it a 3.5 star. Again, it was kind of overhyped, and I felt like it kind of picked back on the hype once the new Netflix movie finally came out. But yeah, I did enjoy the writing, but again, some of the contents in here was very middle school to me. Then we started and finished Your Night, My Heart by Cam Moranova. This was a 5-star. Absolutely love her works. This is amazing. Can't wait to read the next one. Then we started and finished Crown of Midnight by Sarah J. Maas. This was a 5-star read. I flew through this so quick on a day that I literally didn't even have time to read. I still read it. I loved it. Then we started The Darkest Ascending by, I can never pronounce her name, but this is the 3rd and final book of the Nightfall trilogy. Again, super confusing, and the rating is to be determined. We actually knocked out quite a bit. This was a very successful challenge. Granted, while we did not meet the actual page count goal based off of the rolls, I think this was still a good, successful challenge to get me back into reading. Be sure to hit the like and subscribe button if you want to see more content, and I will see you on the next video.